Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. My name is Zainab and I have been possessed by a jinn through Facebook. I know some of you will be like, what? Facebook? How is that possible? I'm an everyday sister just like yourselves who has a Facebook account, who would upload things, upload photos. My main intention was to not let men see my pictures. Another individual who also had Facebook must have been inflicted with a jinn, and they saw my Facebook account and they saw my pictures. And this jinn started to find me attractive and started to have attractions towards me. Through my picture, it tracked me down. We know jinns can communicate. Allahu alam, how it specifically it did track me down, but it did. And now I have the biggest pain in my life, being possessed by this jinn because it has fallen in love with me. I mean, I'm just trying to bear with it day in, day out. Every day I have to recite Quran. I love Quran, but I do this out of necessity. I do this out of necessity to protect myself, because if I slip up, if I don't read certain verses and certain surahs, is really hard for me to explain. But I will feel weak, and I mean, it's affected me in all aspects of my life, relationship with my families. I mean, who would want to marry me now? It's like I can't even, how would I explain this to the brother that I'm speaking to about marriage? That I have a jinn, that I have a jinn that loves me, and that will cause ongoing problems between our marriage. I think about it all the time. Who would want to marry me? You know, this has affected my life completely, and it's changed everything.
Alhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah, amma ba'd. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu wa maghfiratuh. Brothers and sisters, pay very close attention. This is a very serious video. First and foremost, may I request that you click the subscribe button, especially if this is the first time that you're on this channel, so we can have a long-term relationship with these videos in the future. Brothers and sisters, the sister who you saw in the video was doing a reconstruction of a real life incident that took place. A sister who we're in touch with, who was possessed through Facebook. She was uploading her images and a shaitan fell in love with her, tracked her down, has possessed her and destroyed her life now as a result of it. And yes, it is true, brothers and sisters, the shayateen can fall in love with you in the exact same way that the humans can fall in love with you. And what's dangerous about the shayateen is that, and who come from the jinn, the evil jinn rather, is that they can see you but you can't see them, and I'll talk to you more about this later. But brothers and sisters, I can talk to you specifically about how to protect yourself from being possessed by Facebook, or I could talk to you about how to protect yourself from being possessed, period. Or I could talk to you about how to be possessed and all the other evil things that shaitan is trying to do to you, because possession is only one of them. And that's what I want to do today. I want to teach you about your enemy, and I'm going to teach you how to defend yourself from him, not just in the instance of possession, but all the other evil things that he wants to do to you that are too much for me to even mention right now, because time is of the essence. Brothers and sisters, know that Allah commanded us in the Quran. Bear in mind, it's a command from Allah. He said, I command you, take shaitan as your enemy. Shaitan is the one who's trying to destroy your life. Why the problems in your house is because of shaitan. The problems between you and your friends is because of shaitan. If you go to the hellfire, wallah, it's because of shaitan. He took your parents, he took us. We're made for Jannah, you know that, right? He took us out from Jannah and he threw us, and because of that, we got taken out and thrown out of hell, paradise and placed on this earth. Every day you don't wake up, he comes and he pees in your ear. Imagine a guy that you don't like. He comes up to you and he urinates inside your ear. But what disrespect. The enemy who got our parents kicked out of paradise is going to take the majority of people with him to the hellfire. Comes and pees in your ear every morning before you wake up. He's trying to destroy your life every second. Wallahi, he tells Allah, he tells Allah, I'm going to come at them from the right, from the left, from the front, from the back. I won't leave them. And you're not going to find many of them grateful. It's a clear-cut enemy. How is it that we don't know anything about him? To build our fortress, to protect ourselves against him, from him or his minions, possessing any one of us, misguiding any one of us, deceiving any one of us, taking any one of us to the hellfire. The first fortress that we build, rather the only fortress that we need to build, is that we have knowledge of him. If you don't know your enemy, how on earth will you protect yourself against him? It's bad enough that we can't see him. Allah tells us that he sees us but we can't see him. But Allah told us every single one of his tactics. Rather, Allah quoted shaitan. Specifically shaitan telling exactly what it is he's going to do and how he's going to do it to us. Allah quoted the enemy, and that's in other videos, inshallah ta'ala. I would like to go into that. But for today specifically, what I want to do is I want to teach you about the objective of shaitan. What shaitan he is trying to do every single day to me and you. When you learn what his objectives are, you can learn to say, oh, if you find yourself falling into them, you can protect yourself from it. And if you fall into it, then possession is the least of your worries. And hellfire is the greatest of them. And the most likely of them for those that end up in the trap of shaitan. But before I go into that, brothers and sisters, I want to mention to you a hadith of the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned to us that shaitan, he runs through the body of the human the same way the blood runs through your veins. Meaning that shaitan wants to get inside you. Shaitan wants to get inside you. From the inside, he wants to influence you, take over, command you to evil. Allah tells us subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah An-Nas that yuwaswisu fi suduri nas. He whispers inside the chest. He whispers inside the chest of the mankind. He wants to put those evil thoughts, evil ideas. Suddenly you're thinking, you get an evil thought that comes to your head. It could be from your nafs, but it's also from shaitan. Notice something. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told us in an authentic hadith. He said that there is a piece of meat in the body. If it is, إذا صلحت صلح الجسد كله. If it is healthy, the whole body is healthy. إذا فسدت فسد الجسد كله. If it is corrupted and diseased, the whole body is corrupted and diseased. The Prophet said, ألا هي القلب. It is the heart. The heart. The heart is the thing that shaitan is trying to get to. The heart is what he wants to destroy. Because if he destroys your heart, brothers and sisters, and you're going to find out about the heart again, we're going to finish on the end with it. If he gets to your heart, your whole body is destroyed. The Prophet said, if your heart, he gets to it, it's gone. But Allah tells us in Surah An-Nas, he doesn't go and whisper to your heart. No, he doesn't. الَّذِي يُوَسْوِسُ فِي صَدَرٍ فِي صُدُورٍ. In the chests of the people. Now the heart is in the chest, but in the chest is many other things. Why did Allah not say he whispers to the hearts? Why? Because shaitan can't get to your heart straight away. The same way, if I want a brother, like for example, a brother who's sitting here with me now, if I want him to do a sin and he's a righteous man, I want him to go do zina with a woman, I'm not going to say, bro, go do zina. He's not going to listen to me. Rather, I'm going to start talking about women in front of him. I'm going to every now and again point a woman out, say, yo, you see her? Slowly, so I'm going to pull him in. I'm going to pull him in before I got him and he's doing zina. Shaitan's like that. He's not going to come to you and do zina, get you to do zina straight away. He's not going to come to you and get you and whisper to your heart straight away. Your heart, you're praying, Quran, Qiyamul Layl, Afkar. He's not going to come to your heart straight away. Rather, he's going to come to your chest. Your chest is like the balcony to your heart. You have a house. Your heart is your house. The balcony, the porch, the deck is your chest. Shaitan, he comes onto the deck. He comes onto the porch. And he whispers to you from there. He whispers to you from your balcony, you hear him from inside your house, you come out and you listen, you obey. And the more you listen to him from your balcony, the more the doors to your house open, and then slowly, slowly he walks inside. And that's how you get possessed. And that's one of the ways, rather, you get possessed. And that's one of the ways you fall into the trap of shaitan and many other things that happen after that. Yeah, because when you start falling into the sins that you're doing consistently, you open your way towards possession, as you're going to learn in a second, inshallah ta'ala. Brothers and sisters, now what are the objectives of shaitan? We will start with the lowest objective shaitan has. The lowest objective shaitan has is for you and I to fall into major sins. That is the lowest, yes. The lowest objective shaitan has is for you and I to fall into major sins. Sins that are punishable in this life and the next if repentance is not made. Brothers and sisters, I want to start off by talking to you about the sin of riba. Pay attention. Every sin that I'm going to mention right now is because this sin, Allah gave it a direct connection and a link in the Quran with shaitan. And these sins, they all have a direct link between possession. And these sins are one of the biggest traps that when you fall into, shaitan, he takes over you, man. So pay close attention, brothers and sisters. Riba is one of the, and what is riba? Riba is usury. For example, interest. Taking money that's not yours, it's not halal. Mortgages, credit cards, university loans with the riba interest on them. And riba is a vast topic, inshallah ta'ala, but we will discuss it from the context that we all know, which is interest. What does Allah tell us about the people of riba on the day of judgment? Allah tells us, الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ الرِّبَا. Allah says, the people who eat the riba, Allah's going to tell you what's going to happen to them on the day of judgment. Allah said, إِلَّا يَقُومُونَ كَمَا يَقُومُ الَّذِينَ يَتَخَبَّطُهُ الشَّيْطَانُ مِنَ الْمَسِّ. Allah says, they will not stand. They will not be able to stand on the day of judgment, except that they will be similar to the people who are possessed by shaitan. Shaitanu min al-mas. Allah is telling us on the day of judgment, these people are going to be so scared, so terrified. Riba interest, they fell into it, such a dirty sin. They're going to be so scared that it's literally going to be like they're possessed. Like, you know when a person's possessed, their body's shaking, it's all shaking? That's how they're going to be scared and shaking on the day of judgment, petrified. Allah told us, rather, the Messenger told us, that Allah declares war. Allah declares war on the person who does riba. The Prophet told us riba has many parts. The smallest part of it is like a man doing zina with his mum right outside the Kaaba. Why? Because you're taking money that's not halal. You're putting people in debt. Look at the third world countries today. There's a child dying every 2 seconds. 1, 2, a child just died. 1, 2, a child just died. Riba. Capitalism, riba, all this, wallahi, all of the problems in the world because of money, but because it's all because of riba. And the reason why Allah made riba is haram is much, but riba is a major sin, it suffices to say. But I want to bring you to the speech of Ibn Taymiyyah, the great scholar, Shaykh al-Islam, on this issue. He said, notice that Allah mentioned possession in this ayah. Allah mentions major sins and shaitan, but in this ayah, Allah mentioned major sin, riba, and specifically possession. He said, we learn many things from this. One of the things that we learn here is that possession is true. It's haqq, it's real, it happens. Anyone who doubts it is going against the clear-cut ayah of the Quran right here. Clear-cut ayah, and after it has become clear to him and he still rejects it, it can lead to kufr. Brothers and sisters, Allah gave you an example of something, possession, because it's true. He said the second thing that you want to notice here, he said that Allah mentioned possession in the context of riba, which shows to us that there is a direct link, there is a direct relationship between riba, interest, mortgages, credit cards, university loans, and what? And being possessed. And possession is one of the ways shaitan grabs you, tries to destroy you. Brothers and sisters, wallahi, ask the people who do ruqyah. Go and look at the people around you who are possessed and suffering from black magic and whatnot. You will see, brothers and sisters, that there is riba involved somewhere. There is riba involved. Either they're taking it, or their family members are taking it. And you know, when your family members are engaged in something, it can affect and influence you as well. Wallahi, riba is in there. It's in there. Somewhere you're going to find it. Generally speaking, somewhere you're going to find it. But also Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he brings out something else for us. He said, riba is a major sin. Riba is a major sin. And all major sins, riba is a major sin, and Allah talks about possession being linked to riba, which is a major sin, so it's also linked to all other major sins. Any major, why? Because when you do a major sin, you go against Allah, you let him enter your balcony, he then enters your house, your heart, he takes over you. So any major sin, potentially, is you opening yourself to possession. And I'm going to only discuss with you the major sins, brothers and sisters. Not all of them, but the ones that I have time to specifically talk about shaitan in the context of possession and whatnot and so on and so forth. And we start with riba, brothers and sisters. Stay away from it. Get rid of it. Destroy your credit cards. Get rid of them. Pay off your debts quickly. If you've taken a loan, don't take out anymore. Don't go down the road of mortgages. University loans, you've done the mistake maybe. Don't do it again. Come on, you still got time to get out. Next term, pay for it with your own cash. Tell them we don't want none of your loans. Advise your family. Please do this. And also be conscious of other major sins. The other major sin that I want to talk to you about, brothers and sisters, is khamr and gambling. Let's define khamr firstly. It is intoxicants. An intoxicant is alcohol. It's weed. It's cocaine, ecstasy, heroin, anything that gets you buzzing, anything that gets you high, anything that gets you to lose your senses. And don't tell me weed don't get you to lose your senses. Don't tell me weed don't get you to lose your senses. Maybe because you've become slightly immune to its effects, because you've used it so much, don't mean that it's still not an intoxicant. Allah made it haram in and within itself. And He don't make exceptions for an individual. Just because you might drink a cup of wine and you don't necessarily get drunk, don't mean that religion is going to make exceptions for you. It's a general ruling. Allah made it haram in and within itself, not just because of what its consequences are. It in and within itself, Allah made it haram. So brothers and sisters, what does Allah, and also gambling. What did Allah tell us about khamr, intoxicants and gambling? Brothers and sisters, wallahi, Allah told you this is haram, don't do this, riba is this, murder is this, zina is this, theft is this. But when it comes to khamr, drugs, alcohol and gambling, Allah said, رِجْسٌ مِّنْ عَمَلِ الشَّيْطَانِ. Allah said they're abominations of shaitan. Look at the language Allah is using. Allah didn't say, even though zina, we're going to discuss how evil and dirty it is, Allah didn't call it an abomination of shaitan. Allah didn't call it an abomination of shaitan, but Allah called it khamr. And this, an abomination of shaitan. And wallahi, brothers and sisters, again, look at the people who are possessed. Look at them. If there's no riba, there's alcohol. When you lose your consciousness, remember, one of knowledge is your defense against shaitan. When you're engaging in sin, you're not in control of your senses. So you can't control yourself. It's perfect opportunity for shaitan to enter inside of you. It's a perfect opportunity for shaitan to influence you and cause you to do things and mess up. But wallahi, the consequences of alcohol, look at them. Allah tells us in the very next ayah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Very next ayah, Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah number 91. Allah says, shaitan, what does he intend? What does he intend to do to you with the khamr, with the intoxicants and the gambling? Allah said he intends to cause hatred amongst you, one another. You hate him and he hates you. And anger and separation. Is it not true that when you have alcohol in a house, the kids hate the dad, the mum hates the dad hates the mum, he beats the mum? Is that not the case? And then those kids grow up not knowing how to be parents to their kids. Is it not true that you've got kids on the street, drug dealers? When I go to Canada, wallahi, it upset me. Our Muslim brothers and sisters are the biggest drug dealers there. And they are the ones who are murdering each other in cold blood on the streets. Allah, wallahi, look, the Quran. Did it know drug gangs and warfare was going to come? And Allah tells you, shaitan, he intends to cause hatred, to cause enmity, hatred, adawa between one another. Why? Through this alcohol, drugs, and disunity. And that's another discussion, because shaitan wants to disunite us. But brothers and sisters, wallahi, it's one of the main ways you're going to get possessed. And it's one of the main ways shaitan's going to take control of your life, even if you're not possessed, and destroy you. Stay away from it. And many of you are suffering from possession and you don't even know it. Why? Come. Let us recite the Quran on you. Let us recite the Quran on you, and you'll see what happens. I'm telling you right now, brothers who are chilling like his happy days, practicing. They came out of Jahiliyyah, big thick beards. He laid them down. We recite some Quran on them. I was in Norway, I started reciting Quran in the audience. I had to stop. One quarter of the audience was about to start going crazy. And when I was in East London, and those who were there, the Smiling Sinners event, when I started reciting, wallahi, I saw I saw in the eyes of the people, 1/3 of the people were about to stop. After rows and rows of brothers and sisters commenting, brother, I was having side effects, my heart, this, that. Stop their sins. Stop their sins, wallahi. And I promise you, it's nothing to fear. Allah's with you. Allah's got your back. You see this right here? You see this right here? You see this? The book of Allah. You see the book of Allah? Wallahi, shaitan runs when you recite this. He runs. You get victory with Allah's permission over every evil in your life, specifically shaitan. So let's continue. We've discussed riba, we'll discuss alcohol. Brothers and sisters, let's discuss music. Let's discuss music. Surah Al-Isra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said what? He said that there is the shaitan, he calls people with his salt, the salt of shaitan, the voice of shaitan. What did Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anh and the Sahaba and the Salaf al-Salihin tell us about this ayah? They told us here, when Allah says the salt of shaitan, he refers to music. Who are the Sahaba? The students of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam. There are 5 different ayat in the Quran, and all the Sahaba unanimously agreed that these ayat are saying that the music is haram. Surah Al-Luqman, ayah number 5. All of the Sahaba unanimously agree that this ayah is talking about music, and Allah said, I will give them adabun muhin, the people of music. I will give them a humiliating punishment. My question to you is, the Sahaba, the greatest of scholars who studied under the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, are clearly telling us music is in this ayah. This ayah is music. And they've unanimously agreed. Don't tell me what no scholar or no teacher or whoever comes after says. One is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, 14 narrations, one specifically in Sahih Bukhari, the Messenger mentioned music by name saying it's haram. Don't tell me music ain't haram. Don't tell me what some scholar said, brothers and sisters. Don't tell me what some scholar said when I told you Messenger ﷺ said something. Okay? Don't go down that road, inshallah. But specifically here, in Surah Al-Isra, Allah said it is the salt of shaitan. Music is the sound of shaitan. That's why the scholar said music is the adhan of shaitan. Why? Because when you hear the adhan, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, who comes running? The believers. The believers. The believers, they all come running. Who goes running away? The Prophet told us shaitan, he runs out of fear from the adhan. So he's so scared and he runs so fast that he starts farting. Well, it's in the hadith. He starts passing wind. Shaitan is busting farts as he's running away when the adhan is happening. Because that's the adhan. Call of that's the call to the believers. But then the music is the adhan of shaitan. Because when the music is played, who runs away? Inshallah, the believers run away. Us. Inshallah, we're believers. We run away. The people of Iman run away. But who comes running? The shayateen, the evil demons. And you're sitting there on Facebook uploading your pictures, you're sitting there doing your homework, and you're listening to some Stormzy, you're listening to some Beyonce, you're listening to some Drake, you're there like, you're listening. And then around you, you got all these shayateen that also like, They're waiting for that one point for your iman to drop, and they're going to jump inside of you. It sounds funny, but wallah, it's true. Again, you speak to the people. Do ruqya on them. Brother, why you, tell me about your life. Do you listen to music? Yeah, bro, I do. Yeah, I do, I listen to music. Well, you really? Okay. And then no wonder why you're in the situation that you're in. So brothers and sisters, music, stay away from it. Brothers and sisters, the final major sin that I want to discuss here, and this is the reason why the sister got possessed, is the issue of zina. Not that she did commit the zina, but when it comes to zina, Allah said don't go near it. Near it. Not the actual. But Allah's trying to tell us here that there's footsteps towards zina. There's things that lead you to the zina that are also haram for you. The zina in itself is not just what's haram. Allah's not telling you stay away from zina. Anything that leads to the zina, Allah said even that is haram. For example, looking. That's why Allah said don't look. Surah An-Nur, Allah said lower your gaze. Then right after Allah said lower your gaze, He said protect your private parts. Why Allah's telling you there's a direct connection between your looking and your private parts falling into zina? Because a person never did zina except that they looked at something. But there's many roads. There's many stages towards falling into zina. And before I tell you the point that I want to get to, the Bayt al-Qasid, I want to mention to you some of the punishments of the people of zina. Wallahi, in Surah Al-Hijr, ayah number 44, Allah talks about the gates of Jahannam, 7. On this ayah, Ata ibn Abi Rabah, rahimahullah, who was the student of Abdullah ibn Abbas, who was the student of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet made dua for him to teach him the Quran. The Prophet ﷺ student told us on this ayah that from the worst gates of Jahannam, there's 7, right? He said from the worst, and the one that's the most severest in depression, and most severest in terms of torment, and most severest in terms of its stench, is the gate where the people of zina are told to go into. That section of Jahannam is the worst, he's saying. The people of zina, filthy. Because a person who can go and do zina with a woman, a woman and a man can let their private parts meet. And wallahi, they would never let their parents see that. But they show that to Allah. They show that to Allah. They can show Allah that, then they can do theft. Stealing is easy for them. Murder is easy for them. Would you rather your mum see you murder? Would you rather your mum see you steal or do zina? They're all wrong, and murder is worse than zina. It is. But I'm talking to you about the human psychology right now. Would you rather your mum see you fornicate or do theft or do backbiting? You would rather your mum see you steal, would you not? Would you not? Subhanallah. So if you can do zina in front of Allah, which is the worst thing to show up someone, then you can show Allah stealing, you can show Allah theft, you can show Him backbiting and every other major sin. So zina is a big thing, brothers and sisters. Be conscious of it. Why it's dangerous. But how does possession and everything and the sister come into this? Because brothers and sisters, I told you there are steps towards zina. A man, pornography is there. It's all under the same category. Masturbation is all under the same heading. It falls under these steps. But what is the basic step that if you fall into this one thing, you've fallen into the steps towards zina? It is to lose your modesty. It is to lose your haya, to lose your shyness. Allah told us in Surah Al-A'raf that Shaitan, when he came and he whispered to our father Adam and his wife, our mother Hawa, salamun alayha, what was his objective? Surah Al-A'raf, read it. Allah tells us what his objective was. His objective, brothers and sisters, He said it was so I can cause what was covered of their private parts to become uncovered. He knew if they disobey Allah, they're going to be taken out of paradise. In paradise, are you wearing the clothes of Jannah? Yes, you are. Can you wear the clothes of Jannah outside of Jannah? No. So they would have to take their clothes off, they would become naked. They would become naked. Shaitan didn't say, I want them to be humiliated necessarily, even though he did, that was what he wanted. He didn't say, I want them to be sent to the hellfire. He said, my immediate objective is I want them to show their body. I want them to lose their modesty. I want them to lose their shyness, show their private parts. Now, as soon as Allah removed their clothes, Adam, he went and he tried to cover himself, alayhi salam, because he had shyness. But the point that I'm making to you, brothers and sisters, is look. And Allah tells us later, don't let shaitan fool you, deceive you like he did to your parents when he caused their clothes to be taken from them. Wallahi, look at everyone today. Brothers and sisters, look at them. Wallahi, look at the way the bodies are showing. Wallahi, you got sisters. Wallahi, it hurts, man. Sisters walking around in hijab and their clothes are so tight that wallahi, they might as well be naked. Wallahi, everything is shown. And the men that are watching you, do you know what they're doing to you in their heads? Wallahi, they're already having sex with you in their head. Wallahi, if you could go inside a man's mind, men that you don't even realize as you're walking casually at the train station, bus stop, they see you. If you could go inside the mind of a man for a second, you would be horrified. And they've already violated you in their brain. Every day a man's violating you in his mind. You're dressing like that. Let alone the ones who are not wearing hijab. My sisters, cover yourself. Brothers, I have a whole video on the issue of modesty. I don't want to go into this topic too much right now, but watch it. The link is here, inshallah. Brother Oyen, who's sitting there, is going to put it up here. He doesn't forget, inshallah ta'ala. Watch the video. Go, so you can learn about the issue of modesty. But know that modesty is the first step of shaitan. By the sister uploading her pictures on Facebook, she's showing people her face. She's showing people her beauty. She's showing people that gift that Allah gave to her, which is supposed to be precious. She's putting it online for everyone to see. And how many sisters do I see on Instagram with their pictures? And Facebook. Wallahi, sisters, take your pictures off. Please, guard yourself. It's not only the men you have to protect yourself from. The shayateen can fall in love with you. Wallahi, wa billahi, wa tallahi, wa uqsimu bi rabbil Kaaba. Brothers and sisters, I know a brother, personally, who used to have a girlfriend. This is in Jahiliyyah, and I knew the girl as well. He used to tell me, bro, do you know what happens to her at home at night? The girl, she gets touched up. She was suffering from black magic and possession, and a shaitan that was in love with her used to touch her up. He used to fondle with her in her private parts, brothers and sisters. It's disgusting for me to say this to you, but it used to happen to her. Sometimes you have sisters that wake up in the morning and they find discharge between their legs that comes through intimacy because they're being violated by a devil in their sleep and they don't realize it. Brothers and sisters, it's that deep, wallahi. Protect yourself. Ibn Qayyim used to say, they say prevention is better than cure. Rather, Ibn Qayyim said prevention is the cure. It is the cure. Brothers and sisters, don't let yourself fall into a situation where it comes your way. This religion is about closing the doors to harm. So please, brothers and sisters, close these doors. Now there are many other, now I've just discussed a few major sins. And also, I forgot to mention, for music, delete your music as well, brothers and sisters. Please, delete it. Act straight away. If you've got some weed in your house, like burn it, like throw it away. Don't burn it actually. Don't burn the weed stuff. Don't, like throw it in the bin, do something to get rid of it. Alcohol, pour it out. Wallahi, don't go again. Advise your friends, please show them these videos. Wallahi, I didn't even talk to you about the bid'ah that shaitan wants you to fall into, and the kufr and the shirk that shaitan wants you to fall into. Brothers and sisters, you have to learn your religion. What I will leave you with is this. How to protect yourself from shaitan and all of these things. I told you shaitan tells us himself what he's going to do to us. He says that I'm going to misguide all of them, Ya Allah. He says, but Allah, the only ones who I will not be able to touch, the only ones I will not be able to harm from your slaves are the ones who are mukhlisin, the ones who have sincerity and purity in terms of their intention. Meaning that whenever they pray, Ya Allah, they pray for you. Whenever they wake up, Ya Allah, they wake up for you. Whenever they cry for you. Ya Allah, whenever they talk for you. Whenever they give da'wah, they do it for you. When they give charity, they do it for you. Ya Allah, when they wake up in the morning, when they sleep, they do it for you. Ya Allah, even when they go to the toilet, they come out, they thank you. When they eat for you. Ya Allah, everything they do in their life, Ya Allah, it revolves around you. And where does intentions lie? In the heart. I told you shaitan wants to get to your heart, right? Wallahi, if you come with ikhlas, sincerity in your heart, sincerity for Allah, that you live for His sake, you die for His sake, you worship for His sake, you live, you breathe everything for Allah's sake, shaitan can't touch you. Shaitan told you himself, he said, Ya Allah, but those guys, I'm not going to come near them. I can't, Ya Allah, it's impossible for me. He told us himself. Brothers and sisters, how do you learn intention? You learn tawheed. Tawheed is the oneness of Allah. The way you learn sincerity, the way you purify your intention is through learning tawheed, that Allah is the only one worthy to be worshipped in truth. But the reality is, brothers and sisters, that me and you don't even know why Allah is worthy to be worshipped in truth, how He's worthy to be worshipped in truth. For example, if I ask you, what's the difference between you and shaitan? You and Iblis. Do you believe in Allah? Yes, you do, right? Do you believe Allah is one? Yes, you do. Does shaitan believe in Allah? Yes, shaitan believes Allah is one. He does indeed. Shaitan said, Ya Allah, you, Rabbi, bima aghwayta, you're my Lord. He said, Inni akhaf Allah. He says, I fear you, Allah. Brother, Allah says, he says, I fear Allah. Allah tells shaitan makes dua to Allah. Qala andinni ila yawmi yub'athun. Ya Allah, let me live to the day of judgment. And the Prophet said, ad-du'a huwa al-ibadah. Dua is worship. Shaitan worships Allah. He said, khalaqta, Ya Allah, you created me from what fire? He says, Ya Allah, you're my creator. Shaitan believes in Allah. What's the difference between us and shaitan? If we don't even know that, how can we ever have tawheed? How can our heart ever be sincere for Allah's sake? How can we ever have our heart protected if we don't know the difference between us and shaitan? We don't know the difference between us and our enemy. As far as he believes in Allah like you, he fears Allah like you, he believes in the day of judgment like you. What's the difference? If you don't know that difference, dear brothers and sisters, if you don't know that difference, then what's the difference between you and shaitan? You see, these are things that are so important and necessary to learn. And that's why I'm going to invite you, please, at the end of this video, to go to MuslimSurvivalGuide.com. That is a website and a program that our team has put together solely for the purpose of educating you guys how to survive in terms of your religion. The very basic things that you and I need to know. How to be a Muslim at the very minimum. What Islam is. We don't know these things. If you don't know the difference between you and shaitan, then how do we even know that we're Muslims? He's definitely a kafir. Aba wastakbara wa kana min al-kafirin. Allah said. So far, everything that you believe, he believes as well. What's the difference? How do we know that you're not even from his people? Do you see where I'm coming from? It's important. How to protect yourself from him is to know this stuff. And we don't know it. So please go to MuslimSurvivalGuide.com. Sign up to the program and you will learn this. I'll give you the answer in brief, but you won't understand it till you study it. The difference between us and shaitan is that shaitan refused worship for Allah. And we affirm it for him alone. But for you to really know what that means, you need to go to the program. Go, watch the video, see, and whatever happens, inshallah ta'ala. Anyways, I leave you there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. May Allah bless you. Share the video, like the video, and please subscribe. please make sure brothers and sisters get to hear this video, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.